Well, welcome to our series on prayer. What we're going to be doing is we are making 7 simple videos all tailored toward helping you and me grow in our prayer lives. When I think about my own prayer life, I remember the first time that I prayed and God answered. I was in elementary school, sitting in my great-grandma's Volvo as she put the car in drive. It was her, 2 of her friends, and me in the back seat as I prayed a simple prayer to God. God, would you keep us safe while we drive home? I still remember my great-grandma putting the car in park as she pulled into the parking spot in our apartment and me saying out loud, everyone, God answered my prayer. We made it safe to home. And all the old women in the car said, praise God. And I said, praise God. But the truth is, after that simple prayer and me noticing God answer that prayer, as time went on, prayer got more confusing. There was a lot of moments in my life that were high moments where I felt like God was responding to me. And at the same time, there was a lot of collection of moments of real suffering, real hurt, real pain, where I wondered to myself, God, are you listening? If we were to be honest, for many of us, we would say that prayer is one of those confusing parts of our faith. We understand things like studying our Bible or getting in the car and going to church. But for whatever reason, when it comes to prayer, it's one of those areas that we don't really know what next step to take. We know how to talk about prayer or to read about prayer or to listen to another podcast about prayer. But for some reason, when we actually go to pray, sometimes we're just confused. But we have this one thing in common. We want to talk to God. So what is prayer? Prayer is, as I just said, talking to God. Or as others say, prayer is communion with God in the name of the Son with the help of the Spirit. Or as Tim Keller says, prayer is continuing a conversation that God has started through His Word and His grace, which eventually becomes a full encounter with Him. But whatever the definition is, I want you to notice this one thing about prayer. Prayer is all about a person, that person being God. Prayer is not simply meditation. Prayer is not just mindfulness. Prayer is about us going to and talking to and experiencing the real God of this universe. So what we need to know about prayer is prayer at the center of its reality is relational. It's about a person. Paul Miller says, oddly enough, many people struggle to learn how to pray because they are focused on prayer, not on God, the one they are praying to. Prayer at its core is about relationship. So what do I do to actually get better at prayer? The hope is that as we go through these simple videos, that we would give some guidance on how we can grow in this personal relationship with God. But to start off, the first thing to know to help us grow in this prayer thing is to accept that prayer is simple. I'm not saying that prayer is the easiest thing to do in our lives. Many of us are not content with our current prayer lives. But the truth is, prayer is simple. Luke 5:16 has a quick comment about Jesus' prayer life. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Prayer is simple because, like all relationships, prayer starts with us just showing up. One thing we can notice about Jesus' prayer life is that he was consistent in showing up to be with the Father. So you might not know what to say to God right now. You might not know what to ask for or how to listen to him. And it might feel awkward to do this thing called prayer. But it all starts with this one step, showing up. So what if we were willing to start like that? Some of you might be prayer warriors. Let this first video just be a reaffirmation that you continuing to show up is worth it. But some of you might not know how to do this prayer thing. Here's the good news. Teresa of Avila says, when it comes to prayer, we are all beginners. So embrace where you are, show up. And if you don't know what to say, I'll give you a simple prayer of the words of Jesus' disciples. Lord, teach me how to pray. In this first week, the simple challenge is this: set a time and show up to pray.